I think.
I
The
was about to do
connection looks
the sync clap again.
excellent. Excellent. Everything looks amazing.
Sweet. Yeah, I was about to do the audio clap again, the audio sync. I was like, wait, no. All right, Anton, ready?
All right, I am ready.
All right. Welcome to episode 128. This episode 2 is we talk about is DC going beyond, Lego be poppin', and Anton takes us into the room where it happens. I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duong. That was not that long. You said it was
You
a
know
really
what?
long intro.
It's gonna be longer than usual. That's
Oh.
10 words for that last phrase.
Okay.
So the last
All right.
headline.
Yeah. All right. So before we start the show, I am drinking coffee. This is not my normal thing. You know, I guess, you know, when you become a parent and if you're not a coffee drinker, you're going to start to want some caffeine in your diet.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking this thing called iced coffee. But it's not just
Nitro?
any iced coffee. It's from this place called Brooklyn Water Company. And these guys usually do bagels. And their bagels taste really good because they triple osmosis filter their water. They have a really big tank at the very front of their store. So what makes this coffee special is that they use the water, and also their coffee doesn't water down. And I'll tell you why. They call it the iced coffee cupsta because the ice is coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that's because I follow a lot of like those food Instagram accounts and stuff like that, and I think like Tip Hero is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's one of like the tips they give is make 2 batches of coffee, freeze one, and then let the other one chill, and then just use the ice cubes to keep it from diluting too much.
Yeah. So the ice cube is made of coffee. It was just kind of cool. Kind of like that.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's just a lot. I think even though coffee's super cheap in general, it's I think a lot of companies want to spend that extra money to make ice.
Yeah. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to put more coffee in my body, try to get used to it. I'm more of a tea guy. I know you're a tea guy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tea. I mean, it's weird. I'm ever since I read that book, Caffeinated.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really aware of my caffeine levels.
Mm-hmm.
So I will, if I get to the office or whatever, or when the office is open, I would kind of gauge my tiredness level.
Yeah.
If I was like super drained, I'd go for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm good, but I mean maybe a little bit to get my day started, I'll make like a tea or something like that. Or yeah. So it just depends.
So what's your go-to tea now? Are you still a rooibos type of guy, or are you?
Oh no,
oolong?
I was never rooibos.
No?
That was you.
Yeah.
No, that thing kicked the back of your throat. No.
Yeah, for me, I like the vanilla rooibos. It tasted good. That's what I was drinking for a while.
Mellow it out.
Yeah,
rooibos is a weird because it's a root, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird taste because it's earthy, and you almost want to compare it to cinnamon, but it's not cinnamon. It's like another kind of spice to it.
It's a whole different category. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, my go-to, honestly, you know what? Surprisingly, one of my go-to teas now is the Kirkland green tea one.
Oh yeah, because it's I forget the name of the company. Is it Itoen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember the logo.
Mm.
Yeah, I like it. It's a blend of I forgot which green tea, but also matcha. They put like matcha in there, so it's a blend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy that one.
Mm-hmm. All right, dude. Let's get into week updates. What's going on?
So I actually ordered some masks for my coworker because her mom quit her job for safety reasons, or not quit, but she left her job for safety reasons. So she started making masks to kind of make some money on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm digging some of the ones she made. So they're triple layered, and I got this Superman one.
Badass. Hey, I see Batman in there too.
Yeah, it threw me off because if I look at the other, oh no, sorry, I meant to show this side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but but the pattern that she used like for the fabric, it has like Batman in there too, which is a weird looking Batman. I'll try to send you a picture later on.
Yeah.
The way they drew his teeth kind of makes him look like he has fangs.
So is that made from
And I
like
also
bed sheets or something, or
no,
where's the
they buy the
material
actual
from?
fabric from LA.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they just get the, and I also got this Angels one too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So yeah, I'm like some little things. I'm like it's not bad, and I
Hmm.
Martha liked them too because they actually the way they sized it's very comfy.
Hmm.
So I ordered her this like cheetah print one, and I ordered a stitch one.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Hey, it was Stitch Day a couple days ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
June 26th,
Hmm.
experiment 626.
Hmm. Cool.
Yeah. Not much. Like, you know what, dude? One thing I will say though, COVID positive cases are feeling they're getting closer to home. Like I'm starting to hear more people around me that have been tested positive than
Yeah.
before.
From the very beginning, I mean, I had a feeling that eventually it will be like someone near us will have it. Like it was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Martha's family, well, extended family, they've been hit hard. So,
Hmm.
uh, well, I mean, it was aware, but just the people, uh, it's annoying, especially at this point where you know how you can reduce, not eliminate the risk altogether, but
Yeah.
reduce the risk dramatically of catching it,
Yeah. At
and
least
people are
like to
just not.
prepare yourself and to keep your distance away from certain
Keep your
areas.
distance,
Yeah.
mask.
Yeah.
Like this is, this comfy. It's simple. It's simple fabric. It's 3 layers.
Hmm.
Uh, I love that people say, "Well, the virus is super tiny, so that's like trying to stop water with the gate with the chain link fence." I'm like, no, the virus travels on water droplets, and the fabric, the water droplets get caught in the fabric.
Yeah. So if someone was sick, for example, and they cough,
Yeah,
most of it stays inside of their masks, and
yeah,
yeah, some may come out of the mask itself, but still, it's not going to go
yeah.
that far. It goes a lot further when someone's not wearing a mask.
It's not as far, and there's less
Hmm.
of it in the air, the part that does escape.
Hmm.
But yeah, it annoys me because I'm like, it's one thing if you caught it in February or March when we really didn't know much about the virus, where it was, and who had it, or even test for it.
Yeah.
But now that we do have testing, we do have certain procedures in place. It's avoidable, or I
Yeah.
mean, it's at least a fight you can try to win.
Yeah, I do have an employee at my workplace. I'm not gonna say who. I'm gonna keep it, on the down low. But that person started having symptoms over the past weekend, and the symptoms was not tasting
Oh, that's a big
correctly.
one.
Yeah,
Yep.
and also not smelling
Yeah.
certain things. So yeah, that's kind of like a big thing. And then that person didn't show up to work for 2 days, and we're kind of like worried. So we gave that person a text, and they texted back saying that that's what their symptoms are at the moment, and they don't want to get
Okay.
anybody sick.
Well,
So
that's good.
yeah. So we're keeping that person. Uh,
Do you know? Do
yeah,
you
go
know
ahead.
if they got? Do you know if they were going to get tested or if they got tested,
Uh,
or are
I
they just trying to avoid?
I think that person did get tested, but that person is waiting for the results.
Oh, okay.
But at the same
Actually,
time, quarantining.
yeah. Actually, Martha's sister-in-law just got tested 2 days ago, and the results were 20. Oh, really?
I think so. Let me double check. Go ahead and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. Not hearing anything at all. Sorry. Having some audio technical difficulties right now. Probably gotta get it back on soon. Okay. All right, give us a minute here. We're gonna see if we can get this back on track. All right, and we're back.
No, we're not.
It's probably your audio from your computer.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That's weird. All right. So how should we handle the?
Is your recording still there, or
It's still there, but I think it stopped. Let me see here. Hardware.
okay?
Yeti. Cool. Okay. The last thing I heard was. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Right when I said "oh really," my audition stopped recording.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and count down 3, 2, 1, and then we'll both clap, and then we can continue from there.
Okay.
All right.
I'm hitting record now.
Okay, hit record.
Mm-hmm.
All right, counting down 3, 2, 1. All right.
Let's
And
hope
we're
that's
back.
enough.
I think that was at 12 minutes and 40 something seconds. So I'll note that down.
It was 9 minutes and 35 seconds for me.
Okay.
Around there.
All right, and
so
we're back.
I was saying.
You were saying?
Yeah, so I was saying, Martha's sister-in-law just got tested a couple days ago, and the results are super quick. I think it only took they told her 20 minutes, but it took her less than an hour to get her results.
Yeah, I think there's different
her.
tests that you can take. The one that my wife did was the one where you spit into like a little tube.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think that one within a couple hours you get the results right away.
I think I prefer that one as opposed to what they call the nose picker.
Oh, the nose picker? Yeah, that's the worst one. It feels like someone's sticking up all the way to your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the brain picker because they go through your nose, not just the inside the nostril, but they go through the cavity and hit the back of your throat through your nose, which is going to be a weird thing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Besides all that, I mean, best to whoever is, infected or, know anybody that is. I mean, only time will tell.
Yep.
I wish there's a cure as soon as possible, but we're just going to have to wait it out until then.
Yep. All right, Anton. Ready to get into some of the news?
Yes.
That's mainly been impacted by COVID?
Yeah, let's get into news.
All right. So DC's been talking to Michael Keaton. You guys might remember him from the older 90s Batman movies. Movie. I think he was only in one. With Catwoman. I think that was the one. So he's been in talks with DC to come back for the next Batman movie or a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man? Batman? Or what's Batman? I don't think Batman movie, but multiple movies. So
okay, before you even say anything, my wish would be Batman Beyond.
Yes, that's what everybody's hoping for too.
Yeah.
And I love the reaction on Twitter when this happened because the call for a Batman Beyond franchise is so strong, and it melted my heart to know that Batman Beyond, which I loved the freaking cartoon as a kid.
Yeah.
Is back, and it was it Will Friedle, the older brother from Boy Meets World that voiced Terry McGinnis, who played Batman Beyond. I really hope so, dude. And Michael Keaton as an older Bruce Wayne, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. We don't really know the whole details, but let's hope that it's Batman Beyond. And you know what? I would be very happy if they had, more of a vibe of something like, I know it's going to be live action, but I want it to be more of a vibe of like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie style.
Oh, okay.
Like that type of, feel to it.
Well, and I was also thinking about like the futuristic scenery from, the New York in the future or Gotham in the future.
Yeah.
I was like, would that work? How they do the aesthetics? And I thought too, the scenes in the Star Wars prequels where they're in the a big major city, and there was a scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan were like chasing the bounty hunter like through like all the hovercraft. I'm like, okay, it's possible they can create a world for Batman Beyond
Yeah,
and
yeah.
make it seamless.
Hmm. And with the technology that they have for Mandalorian, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna say that
Oh,
there's gonna be a lot more of that technology
oh,
being in play for a lot of the movies in Hollywood starring within a couple of years from now.
so this I barely learned about the Mandalorian not too long ago, but some of the most basic scenes, like the Mandalorian in the cockpit, it was so much technology behind it.
Hmm.
And I saw the behind the scenes, and the background they used was actually a high definition
Screen.
screen, yeah,
Hmm.
projection screen, not
Yeah.
projection screen, just like a monitor kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
showing
LCD
different
screen.
graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also used it for the lighting itself, not just for the background. So if something exploded in the distance, they actually put like a giant flash on the screen to reflect off his helmet.
Yeah. So
Uh,
awesome.
I know, I was like, damn it, like it's such an underappreciated scene, like scenes, like you just think it's just him in a set,
Yeah.
like looking at the camera, but no, it's damn.
It's amazing how they're able to do all that, and the people at Epic Games were able to help them put together such an amazing technology. Um, see, I'm kind of excited for that technology because we have Avatar: The Last Airbender coming out on Netflix and the live action version. Um, they've been experimenting that for quite some time. They did do some screenshots to show that that's what they were using, and dude, I'm just so excited to see what it's gonna look like.
Hmm.
They're almost done with the script or something. They're almost starting to shoot. I think they were supposed to start shooting Avatar: Last Airbender live action like this summer. Like I think it was supposed to start this month.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Who directed who produced the last one? M. Night?
The movie, I don't even want to talk about the movie shit.
I don't.
Uh,
I'm not saying I want to reference it or
uh-huh.
compare it. I'm just saying like who did it last time.
Yeah, yeah. M
Uh,
Night Shyamalan Ding Dong was the one that did
yeah,
the movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's such a weird mix there.
yeah.
All right, Anton. Moving on to other news here. Another franchise that's working on a reboot is Pirates of the Caribbean. Caribbean,
Hmm.
being, being.
Being
Uh,
being.
yeah. Yeah. This time, avoiding the whole craziness factor, they're gonna try to go with Margot Robbie to lead a female
Oh, she's gonna be
main
red.
character.
That's awesome. She's gonna be red.
They didn't say which role, but my assumption is yes, because they
Yes.
want to kind of align it with the ride.
Uh huh. Yeah, it totally makes sense because I
Yeah,
mean they did it for a reason. I'm
yeah,
all for it. That's gonna be freaking awesome. Uh,
I'm good. It, something about Jack Sparrow. It was fun at first, maybe the second movie, but after that, I was like, all right, I'm over him.
yeah. I mean, I still like
He
him. I still like Johnny Depp. I still like
Johnny
his
did a
character.
great job with that
Mm-hmm.
character, but then
Very good job.
I think because so many of his movies came out between the start of the franchise and near the end of the franchise, you start to go, he's
Him
always
again?
kind of playing. He's always kind of playing like a drunk or somebody that has trouble walking.
Yeah.
Like he's always Jack Sparrow. So I think like that kind of pulled me out of that
Hmm.
franchise. But it's an amazing franchise. What was that show on Disney Plus? Prop Culture.
Yeah. Prop culture. Uh-huh.
I love that episode of Pirates of the Caribbean. How much they did for the
Oh
set
yeah. Hmm.
for the set design, the site location or location
Yeah.
spotting
Even if you
finding.
go there to I think Aruba or something, one of the islands, they still have the props
Jamaica.
on there.
What I wanna take. Oh, sorry.
I guess you've been watching Space Force.
Yes, I have.
It's a
So
long.
I'm gonna.
Okay, I don't think we really talked about Space Force on here that much. Let's go real quick about it. It's not in our list of things to talk about, but I thought it was a little bit of a drag at the very beginning, but it takes a while to get really into the show.
I felt like they didn't know what they wanted it to be
Hmm.
because it's. Let's be honest. What inspired this was Trump saying that he wanted to create another branch of the military called Space Force,
Hmm.
and they wanted to make fun of that. However, the show's kind of ahead where Trump is, or
Hmm.
at some points they're on the same level. So the joke is kind of too soon
Yeah.
to say. And but some great news has come out of it, and I don't think we definitely didn't talk about it because it happened when we were on our break.
Mm-hmm.
But so the US has a trademark for Space Force in the US.
Mm-hmm.
However, in Europe, Netflix has the copyrights for Space Force. So the US is fighting Netflix to get the rights to the European copyright for it.
That's so funny.
That's I'm like, okay, that was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, great cast for that show.
Amazing
And
cast. It's
yeah,
crazy. They got John Malkovich on there.
John Malkovich, dude. Every time his character just exudes. Yeah, I'm a fucking boss. No matter how humble or badass his character is, he always like he steals the scene.
Mm-hmm. He's such a good actor. Yeah. It's funny to see him, in these type of things now. I think he's just having fun with his acting career now. Like before, he was always into like choosing the right roles and the serious roles. Now he's like more laid back. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna do some stuff for fun.
Okay, so the Lisa Kudrow character, that one bugged me because there's no real explanation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of mystery around her character. So if season 2 doesn't dive into that further, I think I'm out.
Oh.
I'll put it.
Some character development is kind of weak in this show. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like they kind of. I mean, to give an example for people who haven't seen the show, Lisa Kudrow plays the wife of the main character, and when he gets promoted to the head of Space Force and they have to move, one scene shows her crying next to him in bed, kind of quiet, and the next scene she's behind bars in a prison getting visited by Steve Carell's character.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh,
There's
it's
no
okay if you leave me. I mean, I understand. I'm gonna be here for a while."
Yeah, a lot of vague dialogue, no explanation, nothing. And you're like, okay, they're setting up the season. Nothing in the season explains what the hell's going on there.
Yeah, it kind of felt like she was just there, as like a cameo.
It's like a story arc they started, and then they're like, oh shit, we forgot about that. We left Lisa Kudrow in jail.
Yeah.
It's a good cast. I'm like, if this was any other cast, I probably would be out. But because of the cast and the money they're putting behind this, I'm like, all right, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're doing the long con on this one, and they're going to give us more story later on.
All right, G.
All right, Anton.
What else?
So this is kind of a funky one. They're working on a live action Frosty the Snowman movie. And the voice is being cast. The voice for Frosty is going to be Jason Momoa. I don't think I've ever heard Jason Momoa as anything other than a gruffy voice.
Oh yeah,
Macho Man. I don't know. I that was kind of like that. That's a story we have not a lot of details for, but it's a weird casting.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going. So onto more fun news.
I like how we just breezed right through that one.
Really? What are you gonna say?
It's a Christmas movie. Yeah.
I am the king of Atlantis. I mean, Frosty. Your hat brought me to life. Where's my trident? I mean, cob pipe.
Yeah. Crunch carrot. Okay. What else is next?
I was like, you had to get something out of me for that story, huh?
Yeah.
So Lego is releasing a new line of toys called Pop Art, and the first pictures we're seeing is a set that you can make 3 different Iron Man kind of posters or mosaics of. It looks really cool. It's pretty much just it's a lot of little tiny Lego pieces. You're making a flat 2-dimensional piece of art
that you could put
to make it look like that you can put on your wall. Yeah, and it has that Lego texture, so it kind of pops out a little bit more. I like it. I'm surprised they haven't done this before. Something very simple. It kind of reminds me of what's it called? Light Bright.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, except without the lights.
And I think it's a good time to do that too, because a lot of people have a lot of time on their hands. So why not?
Yep.
Yeah. It's cool.
I'm also wondering if the puzzle glue would work on that if you just use regular glue. All right.
I think it should be strong enough.
right?
I hate
Something
it.
sealed.
I don't know if it ever happened to you, like where you're building a Lego and then when you want to take it apart, you can't take it apart because it's so stuck together.
Yeah, I never understood how that happened.
Yeah, like the last couple of pieces that you disassemble, like it starts
Yeah,
to like
I
break your nails.
I I did have a couple of Lego pieces that had bite marks on it because I was just like, break
Hmm.
off.
And okay, so watching Lego Masters,
Okay.
okay, they build for like 16 hours straight. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's straight or not, but they're in the same clothes,
I'm
so it pretty makes sense that they are in the same
I'm
clothes.
assuming they at least get a break or something,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's
Yeah. So
they definitely
here's the thing: doesn't your fingers get blisters and stuff by the end of that? Because when
uh
I played with Connects and when I play with like any type of building blocks, after about an hour in, my thumb is like pulsing.
yeah, I mean it depends what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of
It's
I
either
don't, I
that or
don't think
these
they're I
Lego
don't I,
masters. They probably
they're
play with
callous.
Lego. Yeah, they've probably built like calluses on
Yeah.
their
I think
fingers.
it's a combination. I
Hmm.
also don't think they're taking and removing pieces as much as we would have as a
Hmm.
kid.
Yeah.
They're pretty strategic with how they're placing things.
Hmm.
So I think that's
I
that's
did
part of it
notice
too.
at one point in Lego Masters that they were using hammers.
Tools. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
tools to kind of like make sure that the pieces are set in right.
Yeah.
Yeah, little rubber mallets.
Hmm.
All right. So last episode we talked about Disney reopening in a couple weeks, mid July.
Hmm.
Not happening because of the recent spike in California. They've shut down again to a future date
Hmm.
unannounced.
So here in Disney World, I think they are still opening this month.
Hmm.
And a lot of the people who have been working there for a very long time, especially they're more of like seniors now, a
Yeah.
lot of those people are retiring because they know that it's not worth it for them to stay there any longer. Because, for one thing, they're endangering themselves.
Yeah.
Two, they already passed 15 years of working there, so they get their
Hmm.
unlimited pass. Um,
I can see you doing that.
mhm.
I can see you like you're like 15 years before you retire, you get a part-time job at Disney World.
I have somebody to do that for me. So I mean, they're already like 6 years in. They're just on a hiatus right now, if you know what I
Oh, I
mean.
didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you
I
could do
think
that.
that's what you can do. Yeah,
Okay, a formal like
yeah.
pause or
I,
do they just like they're like, "Oh, they have a previous employment with us.
I think so. I
Add
think
those."
as long as you work for the company, you have a profile on the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
All right. Sneaky.
Hmm.
All right, that's on. Uh okay, so okay, never mind. So you just covered that. All right, so moving on.
Yeah.
uh so because of a lot of, different shopping experiences being limited because of crowding,
Hmm.
spacing, some businesses have decided to branch out into other kind of businesses.
Hmm.
One being Walmart.
Yeah. So Walmart is doing drive-ins now. I think they partner with Tribeca Films to do
Uh-huh.
screenings of different type of movies. I don't know the details of if they're gonna charge people for this or people going to go there just to have free screenings. I'm not so sure, but I know that they are starting to do some type of drive-in because I mean they have a big parking lot in front of Walmart's,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's lots of Walmarts in the U.S. So I think that would be kind of cool. I mean, it kind of gives people a place to go and hang out and be safe. Would you do something like
Yeah,
this?
I would. Actually, there's what was it? It was the Grove
Mm-hmm.
by Angel Stadium. They started doing a drive-in. I got an
Mm.
email about it a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh crap. So I think a lot of venues that are usually doing uh, concerts, other events that they have a big parking lot
Mm-hmm.
are starting to branch out into that. But the hard part is making a deal with getting the movie rights to do a screening or do a showing or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's the tricky part. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I know Walmart has been trying to make the most of their land. I think of when the pandemic first happened, they volunteered their parking lots for COVID testing. But yeah, so I mean, I'd be down for it. I am curious how they're going to try to set up some sort of privacy or control the audio. But yeah, maybe a number you text into to get the audio quality. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
All
right. So
what's going on with Apple?
Apple last week, they had their WWDC event. This event every year that they do a developers conference where they talk about what new operating system they're rolling out this year. So this year they're rolling out Big Sur, which is a big update for the Macs. And Big Sur is going to give us a lot of new features. First thing is it's going to be optimized for their new ARM chips for Apple. So they are no longer going to be using Intel chips on their new Macs. They still support the new the Intel chips. So we're still going to get updates, but they're just going to roll out new Macs with their own processing chips. So these chips are going to be the ones that are also going to be in the phones and the iPads and pretty much any other Apple device. So this is kind of interesting to me because a lot of the features, I mean, the whole design of the whole Big Sur on the Mac looks kind of similar to what they're having on the iPad right now. So, and the big thing about this Big Sur is the apps that are on the phone and the iPad are going to be able to be used on the Mac. So how they're porting it over is they're porting it by just dragging everything over. And if the developer didn't optimize their app for the computer, it would just show up like a phone or an iPad. So if they did optimize it for the Mac itself, it'll be however developer created it, so it looks like on the Mac. So it brings to a really, really controversial topic right now. Is the Mac going to be combined with the iPads? Will the iPads become the new laptop? I mean, it's already kind of like a laptop.
Well, one thing that Apple has been pretty stringent about or put their foot down on is touchscreen Macs. They refuse. They say it's a gorilla arm thing. People don't work on their laptop by touching the screen. They can't,
Yeah, because your arms get tired after a while. But the thing is that Windows have been rolling out laptops and all these touchscreens for years now, and people still buy them. I mean, yeah, your hands do get tired. I totally agree that on Apple's side. But I think Apple is trying to play catch up. Even though they said certain things, they're gonna have to eventually adopt to what's the future,
the norm.
The norm, the future. I mean, I know Apple's gonna find a way to make it work. Like for the longest time, Apple's like, oh yeah, pens and stylus is not going to work, but then they came out with the Apple Pencil, and people love it. And but I guess the only reason why they were able to make it work is because the pencil works. Like it makes sense. With the iPad, it has a little charging area, and it just hooks on, like a magnet.
Yeah, well, part of the pencil, it's not just a lot of people compare it to a stylus, but it's not just a stylus. No. It provides feedback to itself. It's not just a clicking device. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no buttons on it. You just write.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I'm saying like a regular stylus, which is just a piece of plastic with a little piece of metal at the end, or like some sort of like connectivity at the end of it. This actually has a purpose. It actually has some. It provides input to the device, not just pressure.
So if you look at the screenshots of Big Sur, you're going to see that they have a mission control center, like how you have it on the phone. But the buttons on the mission control are those little swiping things.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings me to question: are they really like going to go that route? Because the only reason why they would have those buttons is if your screen is touchscreen. Because like it's kind of weird for you to use your mouse and just like click and drag those things when you can just click. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the whole gestures thing.
Yeah. So
I could see it.
Yeah, maybe Apple is doing it.
Or they're experimenting with it and just getting, they have it in place in case they need it. I mean, if they don't decide to go a different route, guess what? Those buttons just go away, and nobody ever knew aside from a few people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but it's again, I mean, would I really use that for everything? No. Like I still kind of prefer tactile for some things.
But there are moments where I'm using the Mac and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that app on the phone or an app on the iPad on the computer, because they only make the app for certain devices.
I mean, I will say I do use the on my MacBook Pro. It has the display touch screen at the top of the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
That switches between the apps that I'm using. And at first I didn't really use it that much, but little by little, like as I saw how it changed for certain applications, I'm like, oh, I just click that, or I just click. There you go. It's fast. It's a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So
there are moments where when you use an app or something, you're like, oh, maybe I'll just touch it. I think that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, we can't really see anything yet because we haven't really got our hands on it, but we'll probably talk more about it when we start upgrading our computers to Big Sur. So, all right.
That's going to be a fun update. Mm-hmm. All right. So next update here, speaking of technology, AI robot gets casted for a movie. So the AI robot's casted in a lead role for a $70 million sci-fi film. Mm-hmm. The feature financed by the backers To the Bone and Loving Vincent is said to be the first to rely on an artificially intelligent actor. And this is creepy because the picture they used was that like Japanese secretary robot that you usually see like at technology conventions.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, the picture's on our Instagram or social media accounts at the 2OC if you want to check it out. Yeah. I'm kind of curious, but I mean, this is a very expensive investment to make for just a gimmick.
Yeah. Why don't you just use the same amount of money and hire Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, there you go. Plastic face.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, Anton. What are these trailers you sent me?
Okay, so there's a bunch of new trailers rolling out, and I think Tax Collector is supposed to be coming out in August, and it's from director David Ayer. You probably know him from movies like Training Day, End of Watch, Bright, Suicide Squad. He's always doing like LA crime type stories, more like the modern day like hood movies.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Tax Collector is basically in the same type of neighborhoods. It's about tax collecting, but not for the government, for like gangs and stuff like that.
Okay. The whole protection money.
Yeah, protection money.
Pay us for protection.
Yeah.
Or accidents happen.
Yeah. So it stars Shia LaBeouf as the tax collector. I don't know a whole lot, but from the trailers, it looks pretty freaking awesome. It kind of gives me that End of Watch vibe, but more on the gritty side.
End of Watch was in gritty.
This is more End of Watch is more cop because it follows
so
two cops.
This is End of Watch from the other side.
Yeah, End of Watch on the other side. Yeah. So
I did see Carl in our movie chat group chat send this to, and I didn't get a chance to check it out. I saw you guys talking about it. I don't know. Shia still bugs me. I haven't even seen Honey Boy, and I always get that recommendation on Amazon, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So another trailer that popped up was American Pickle, and I thought this was going to be in the movies, but it looks like HBO Max picked it up. It stars Seth Rogen. The premise of the story is Seth Rogen's great grandfather or something like that, great grandfather. He was making pickles, and he accidentally fermented himself. So he wakes up years and years later when his grandson finds him in a pickle jar.
Pickle Rick.
Yeah, so Pickle Rick. So
This is Pickle Rick.
yeah.
So the live action Pickle Rick.
Yeah. So I don't know what to say about it. It looks like it's a funny premise. I don't know what to say. I think it's going to be a really funny comedy because it's Seth Rogen, and I think it's going to be very, very smart funny with a lot of the jokes and writing in it. So kind of excited to see that.
Yeah. One thing I learned recently is I don't know if this is common knowledge or probably just or not, but speaking of Pickle Rick, I really learned that Justin Roiland, who voices Pickle Rick, Rick
and Morty.
Rick and Morty. When he's voicing Rick, he's actually drunk sometimes.
No, he's not. He only did it that one time. That was it. He only did it once because
That's sometimes.
Yeah. So he only did it because he wanted to see how bad it was gonna get, and it got so bad.
Was it one of those freaking television shows from the universe kind of thing?
Yeah.
From space television shows?
Yeah, it's funny. Oh, I actually caught up with the most recent episode, so I think they're done with this season, so it won't be coming back.
I have. I need to.
Okay.
No, I haven't. And I'm kind of happy I didn't because these episodes sound like they've been really high and low.
I didn't really like a lot of the episodes for this season.
Yeah, that's the thing. Not quality, but what they're trying to say. Some of them say like, some people hate it. I guess there's an episode where Rick specifically calls out, "We're not going to do a 9/11." Or doing a 9/11. Like he's calling out what they're referencing, and people got pissed off about the whole 9/11 joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think if you're a fan of the show, you understand the commentary they're trying to make for stuff, and you can't get upset when they make commentary on certain topics. Yeah.
See, I think that's one thing about cartoons is, especially with like comedy cartoons, they can get away with a lot of stuff because it's comedy. You know, you don't take it so seriously. So,
I checked out the show Solar Opposites, and that one. I saw one episode. I didn't really get into it. I think mainly because the names were too weird. But I'll give it. I'll binge 2 or 3 more episodes and see if that grows on me or not. Did you check it out?
No, not yet. I'm waiting till they're done with the season, then I'll check it all out.
You binge it. Okay. Yeah, it's dark. I'll tell you that right now. It's super messed up. All right, Anton. So I was trying to come up with like the what movies are being pushed out or delayed. And I just thought, what'd be funny at some point? Some of these movies I just don't care about anymore. So I came up with a little game called Push Out, like delay, or Punch Out, like I really don't give a crap anymore.
All right, let's do it.
I mean, I'll put it this way. Artemis Fowl. That one that was supposed to come out last summer, and it was delayed to this summer. And because of COVID, Disney just said, "F it, we'll release it on Disney Plus," and it was a big flop.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, I liked it because
it had Disney Channel vibe.
Yeah, it did. I like the director, Kenneth Branagh. Ken is good. He's a good director. He's solid. This, I don't know what happened here. I really don't know what happened. Are you a big fan of him? He did Murder on the Orient Express, and he was the main actor in that too.
I really think he just didn't know the subject.
Yeah.
because this is supposed to kick off a franchise for Artemis Fowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This and
I think his acting is a little off.
Isn't that the goal though? I don't know. All right, Anton. So next one here, Tenet. Originally supposed to release on July 17th. It moved to July 31st.
I would never punch out. I'd rather push.
Okay,
out.
good.
Yeah.
Good. And also feel free to ask me about movies. I'll check to see if they're on my list to see if their dates have been updated.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman 1984.
Push
so
out.
This is DC's push out. Okay. Venom Let There Be Carnage, originally scheduled for October of this year. Jesus, I didn't know that. And now it's pushed out till June 25th, 2021.
I'm okay with it. I still want to watch it. I would punch out, but I still want to watch it. So, doesn't really matter when it comes out. I can wait.
Yeah. Free Guy. This is one that I got really excited about when I first saw it, and then I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
This is Ryan Reynolds is in a video game, or NPC in a video game, and becomes self-aware. It was originally supposed to release July 3rd, yesterday.
Yeah.
Now scheduled for December 11th of this year.
Okay, I'm gonna punch out because I can see Ryan Reynolds whenever. He's the same in almost every other movie.
And you know, and I'll add the little caveat: punch out could also mean it can come out on video on demand, and I'll eventually watch it.
Okay, yeah. That's totally that's fair.
That'd be. I can see Free Guy as a freaking television show too. That's the thing.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah,
a mini series.
Yeah, there could be so many stories and episodes. Yes. Yeah, because I mean, there's so many stories that you can play on Grand Theft Auto. So why not a television show about something similar?
I'd be also down for like a Ready Player One story, like stories from Ready Player One kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like Once Upon a Time, but then just different stories. Different. Yeah,
because it's characters, the whole world in there.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Afterlife moved from July 10th to March of next year.
Push out. I actually want to watch that. Yeah.
I'm excited because the original cast, or what's left of the original cast, is apparently gonna make a cameo, or part of it. A Quiet Place 2 moved from March 8th to September of this year.
Push out.
All right.
I still want to see that.
Black Widow moved from May 11th to November 6th of this year.
Push out.
All right. Any other movies you want me to check out? Or scroll through?
I don't know. If there was, I'd tell you. Oh, the 007 movie is a push out for sure.
Oh, 007.
Yeah. No One Has to Die or something like that.
Yeah, just No Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
Yeah, move from April 10th of this year to November, and November 25th, and then again they updated to November 20th.
Yeah.
So maybe they thought, oh crap, Thanksgiving weekend, we kind of want to get ahead of that. New Mutants. This one has been pushed out. I think this is the third time.
Yeah,
fourth time?
No, this is probably fourth or fifth time already. This was supposed to come out like 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. What movie was I watching in theaters? I think it was Bad Boys. We were watching Bad Boys, and when the Mutants trailer came out, Martha's like, "Oh, that looks kind of cool." I'm like, "It does," but that movie's at least 4 years old by now. They do a sequel to that movie. The characters are going to age, not drastically, but noticeably. Yeah. All right, Anton. No other movies you want me to check out? Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway, moved from August 7th to
Punch
January 15th. All right. So let's get into some of the what I call Reboot Round-Up. So many reboots are happening now because Hollywood is seriously out of ideas. First one, Twister. Remember that movie with was it early 90s?
Yeah.
With the storm chasers, and somehow people survive being in the eye of a tornado of an F5.
And then there was that attraction at the Universal Studios that you like walk through and feel heat and wind, and
They have a flying cow like they did in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah. You have to add that feature in there to make you feel like it's believable.
I think that's one of the funniest scenes in that movie was they're in the eye of the storm. They're like, they just hear, they're like, that's a cow.
Yeah.
I want to see what the direction was given to that actress.
Yeah.
What's her
Yeah.
name? But, all right. So you're right. You're gonna be in the eye of the storm, right? And then we're gonna add special effects, but you're gonna look off to the distance and see a cow flying in the air, and you don't know why it's flying. You go, okay, I got it. Roll. That's a cow.
That's AAA acting for you.
There you go.
Right.
All right, Anton. Next reboot we're gonna get here is, well, I don't know if it's a reboot. Magic School Bus live action movie.
I am totally down for that.
Starring Elizabeth Banks as Miss Frizzle.
I am totally down for that.
Yes,
I am so down for that.
I posted that on our social media, and I'm blanking on her name. I was chatting with one of our listeners in the comments, and I was like, I get a Hunger Games vibe from like that kind of like scene, or not a scene, a character choice. Even though Miss Frizzle's not that crazy or not that like just
I
the
can
outfits.
see it now. I can see Arnold and Wanda as the last two people surviving on the bus. And hell just breaks loose. Yeah.
Oh, dude, how was Wanda the redhead?
No, Wanda is the Asian chick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can see like or I wish Emma Stone could be like the redhead if she was young enough.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like that level of sassiness and attitude?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we haven't got much about the casting, but just the fact that Elizabeth Banks is gonna be starring in this one, I'm sold on it. Yeah, more details to come on that one. All right, Anton, ready to get into streaming?
Yeah, let's get into streaming.
All right. Before we get into our main attraction here, some quick announcements. The Boys season 2, scheduled to come back on September 4th. And Doom Patrol season 2 is out now. I think both of them are going to be releasing the first 3 episodes first, and then weekly releases after that. I saw Doom Patrol season 1. I freaking fell in love with it, dude. This is not a standard like superhero show. Did you watch it?
No, but I heard that DC, that streaming service is no longer there, so they're moving all of the shows to CW, right?
Not CW, but this is on HBO. So I did see that. Yeah, HBO has a DC section. So I can see DC just porting over their streaming originals onto HBO.
Yeah,
HBO
it totally
Max.
makes sense that they're doing that because there's so many streaming services right now that a lot of people don't really care about having certain ones. And I think that the first season, a lot of people just signed up for the 30-day thing and watched it and just canceled it. And I'm guessing that's probably what you did.
No, actually, I saw this one on HBO Max.
Oh,
okay. So that's why I started binging it, because I saw it it was recommended to me from DC port, and I was like, I'll watch it. Okay. So for those that aren't sure what the show is, it follows a handful of characters, lesser known characters, except for one. When Cyborg is your A-list superhero, you know how B-list the rest of these characters are.
Yeah.
There is Diane Guerrero's character, Crazy Jane. You might know Diane from Orange is the New Black. She has 65 personalities, each one with their own superpower, and she can't control when they come out. There is one, and I love, this is one thing that's kind of comic booky, which I love. There is one called Steelmouth Metal. I forgot what it was. But that's the thing. When her personalities come out, her physical appearance also changes, and sometimes it's very subtle, like maybe a little scar or something. Sometimes it's very drastic. So for this character, she has. It reminds me of Mad Max Fury Road with the whole spray paint on the mouth. She has that.
Chrome.
But when she talks, when she talks, certain words pop up in midair, kind of like a caption,
Mm-hmm.
and then she can use those words as a weapon. So she told the guy to shut the fuck up, and the word "fuck" is like right next to their. And then Cyborg saves him, and he goes, "I had that under control." Cyborg's like, "Hey, an inch left, and fuck would have fucked you up."
Wow.
Yeah. There's another girl, Elastigirl, which she's stretchy, turns into a blob.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Bomer's character, Larry Trainer, who is called Negative Man, who has other dimensional being inside of him that's made of electricity, that he's trying to understand and control. Brendan Fraser as Robot Man, hilarious as hell, dude. I've never heard Brendan Fraser swear so much. I almost want to see if there was a goal for the writers or for him to try to sneak in a set amount of swear words for each movie. For the first episode, I think the key word was fuck. And the second episode, it was shit. Because the first episode, the first 3 lines of dialogue is him looking at the disaster that happened and him going, "What the shit? What the shit? What the shit?" And when it's like, "We get it." And there's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is my reaction too much for a whole for all this destruction?"
See, this is why we need more Brendan Fraser. You know, like when you watch The Mummy, it's like, or George of the Jungle. He has that type of vibe where you're like, I can't get enough of this guy. You know?
Yeah, his character's supposed to be like a redneck race car driver.
Yeah.
Also be prepared to see Brendan Fraser ass. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a redneck kind of thing. It's like a-hole. So it's just funny because I think Brendan Fraser also, you'd never really see him as a bad guy or an a-hole. You see him as serious. I think like the most serious role I saw him in was in Crash, but that was like him being professional. I think he's like politician or a lawyer or something. He was just being serious, whatever. So for him to be an a-hole, it's just freaking hilarious, and he works that role so well. But the bad guy for this series would be Alan Tudyk's character, Mr. Nobody. And goddamn, dude, Alan Tudyk is just A-star actor, dude. It's so weird because the narrator for the show is the villain. So he is. It's something unsettling about, you know, seeing your heroes have a little victory, and the villain is narrating their story. It's like, you know, it's kind of like the whole omniscient narrator, but the omniscient narrator is the guy you're trying to stop.
Yeah.
So it is kind of creepy, but it's funny because he kind of breaks the fourth wall too every now and then. When a character walks into one of his plans and he goes, "Yes," and she walked away realizing thinking that she has grown as a person, but really, and the scene cuts to something else. He goes, "Oh, what the fuck? The show's not over. There's more of this crap."
Okay, so since we were talking about Alan Tudyk, my favorite role that he's ever been in is
Firefly.
What?
Firefly.
No, it was in a movie, not TV show. It was Dodgeball with Ben Stiller. I don't know if you remember that movie. But
I do.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk played Steve the Pirate.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. You remember that? He's such an iconic character in that movie where you're like, wow, that's such a cool character. I'm totally going to remember this guy. And ever since that movie was out, every single role that I see him in, I always remember Steve the Pirate. So... yeah, he's such a good actor. I wish that, you know, he can get like more light as the main character, you know? He's always been like a side character that kind of brightens every single movie up.
He's a side character, or he's the voice, or even just the motion capture guy, but you don't see his face all the time. I think the most recent thing people would recognize him from is what's it called, Rogue One,
Mm-hmm.
as
K2SO.
K2SO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and then also if you've seen iRobot, he played the robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of he's been in a lot of big movies. Just you don't necessarily see his face, but
Mm-hmm.
you would recognize his voice.
Yeah. Such a great
Yeah, dude.
actor,
No,
that guy.
yeah, no, yeah. Check out Doom Patrol. I think it's like 13 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you dig it. All right, Anton. Go. Well, I'll let you take the role for this one, or the lead for this one.
All right. So July 3rd, which was yesterday, Hamilton, the Broadway original cast, recorded their movie version of the whole entire production. And it was supposed to be coming out this year in October, but it seems like they wanted people to see it a lot sooner and, be available for 4th of July, which totally makes
Yeah.
sense because, it's Hamilton. So it released on Disney Plus, and we did a watch party yesterday. I've seen the play, I've seen the musical twice, and seeing it as the movie, before I even did my thoughts, we had that watch party yesterday. I want to hear what you thought about it, and you watched it with Martha, your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to hear what you guys thought about it.
We loved it. I was kind of it took me a little bit to get into it because I don't know if it was just the audio quality of the show
Mm-hmm.
or her TV speakers. Maybe there's some output
I
that
should have told you to
wasn't picking
turn
up.
on subtitles.
Oh, I didn't see the subtitle option.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a lot better if you turn it on because from what
Okay.
I read, people watching it, they're like, "Oh yeah, turn on the subtitles. It
Because
it helps so much."
the audio mixing was to show off the singing. So when there was those very few lines of dialogue where they're just kind of speaking to each other,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like a whisper.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, like I dug the music. Martha was into rap for a good amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
but not just like regular rap, but like the more like political rap or like social rap. Like so, like she loved it because what Hamilton does is it was not just rapping for the sake of rapping, just throwing in random words. It was very meaningful message that it was trying to deliver in each line.
Yeah.
Uh, so there was that one line where I forgot the sister's name. Is it Angelica?
Yeah.
Angelica was reading about the Declaration of Independence,
Mm-hmm.
and she lists off all these freedoms that we hold to be self-evident,
Mm-hmm.
and then she throws in that line, maybe they'll include us women in part 2.
Yeah. Include the women in the sequel. Yeah.
Sequel.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. Yeah, lyrically wise, I think throughout the whole entire production, I think they did a really good job of trying to incorporate, that this whole entire production is not about, just history, but about diversity.
Yeah.
Like the diversity of color in the cast and how, Hamilton was about the equality of being equal with everybody. I mean, he lived on an island in the Caribbean, and he lived on a farm, and a lot of the people that were working on the farm were African, and they weren't treated as slaves there. They were kind of like on free land. They did whatever they wanted, and he treated them like any other person that wanted to be treated. And when he came to the United States, that was the one thing that he was fighting for, is the equality to have everybody equal. So yeah, this whole theme of this whole entire production, like, it's very meaningful for a lot of people, and I think that's why this is such a big deal.
Yeah, it's there we go. I was looking for. Yeah, I was telling Martha, it's kind of ironic that the majority of this cast is not white.
Mm-hmm.
They're Black, Asian, Latino,
Hmm.
uh, and they're all talking about equality and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's just ironic because like at that time they, the founding fathers were not thinking about them
Hmm.
as equals.
Yeah.
So
Did
I
you
think like
have a
that's
lot
kind
of
of
laughs with King George?
yeah, that was kind of that was just like he's such a sassy king though.
Yeah. He is.
uh Kristoff from Frozen, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which
Yeah.
yeah, I
Kristoff.
was trying to remember which character he was playing. Yeah, because like his voice sounded so familiar, and then when they showed the first time they showed him, I didn't recognize him.
Hmm.
But the second time he came up and he did uh some, I can't remember what part of the song he did or what he's saying, but I was like, that line is
Was
familiar.
it where he's gonna kill your friends and family to remind you of his love? Is
Something
that
like that.
yeah,
I think so.
yeah,
It was the second his second appearance.
yeah.
I was like, that's the guy from Frozen. Like,
Yeah.
um, because yeah, because the previous week we saw the Frozen documentary for Frozen 2 documentary,
Hmm.
and they showed some of the voice actors in the studio recording their lines,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, recognize her. Josh Gaff looks like an a-hole. And then they showed him, and I was like, huh, probably like the lesser known like voice actor in this show, like for like because you see Josh Gaff, you see Kristen Bell, you see what's her name,
Adina Menzel.
Edina, yeah, like you see her in like in production, like publicity or whatever, publicity
Hmm.
appearances or interviews, but you don't really see the guy play Kristoff. So he kind of stuck in my head, and then when I saw him in Hamilton, I was like, that's him.
Hmm. It's interesting because a lot of the people from Frozen, they have a little bit of theater backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like I think Kristen Bell was Dorothy in the production of Wizard of Oz when she was little, and I think Adina was in Wicked. She played uh, Tabitha, the
I
Green
think
Witch.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she played her. Yeah, so yeah, they all had some type of theater background. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more people in the cast of Frozen that was that had theater backgrounds. All
Yeah.
right, so other than that, you had some favorite songs in there. What did you think about the mixtape versions of the music from here?
I only saw one. I only saw the
Hmm.
immigrants one.
Hmm.
Um, but I dug that they how people have taken meaning from those songs and try to incorporate it into other facets of our society.
Hmm.
Um, kind of what Hamilton did to Hamilton's story
Hmm.
by I like this line that they put in the Disney post about it. It was uh, Hamilton is the story of an American then told. Oh, here you go. Is the story of the American then told by America now.
Hmm.
And as I'm like, I like that description of it, and I feel like that is what the remixes are doing. Also, is they're
Hmm.
taking the inspiration and taking it to another level of inspiration.
Yeah. So here's what I picked up when I was watching this a couple times and listening to the album on Apple Music. I noticed that there's a little bit of Shaggy in there. There's a little bit of
Shaggy.
yeah, Shaggy. A little bit of TLC, Destiny's Child in there.
Hmm.
A little bit of pop in there too. Because whenever the king starts singing, it kind of sounds like some type of like pop song, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool to see a combination of different types of music. There's a little bit of
Hmm.
jazz in there too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so different than watching like a traditional musical where it's just like a regular pop style song or
Yeah.
just traditional classical folk music, you know?
Yeah. Their description also on Disney is also it blends hip hop, jazz, R&B, and Broadway.
Hmm. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, no, I dug it. They did a great job with the songs.
Hmm.
I'm not a big musical fan,
Hmm.
uh, But in this case, it wasn't just them singing the dialogue to move the story forward. The songs were songs by themselves
Hmm.
that also fit into the story.
Yeah. So how far did you dig into the origins of this production? Like, did you know how
Not
it
that far.
started?
Just
Okay. So
no.
so Lin-Manuel Miranda, he was doing In the Heights, which is a
Mhm,
production that is going to be a movie pretty soon. I mean, it's already a movie. It's going to come out this year. It stars
mhm.
the guy that played the son.
It wasn't the in Sundance, or it wasn't film festivals. I know that, right?
Yeah. It was in film festivals, and
Yeah.
it's directed by John M. Chu, who did Crazy Rich Asians,
Hmm.
and also Step Up, a couple of the other ones. Yeah, so that movie's going to come out this year. Anyways, uh, so Lin Manuel was during In the Heights in Broadway, and he had some time off, so he started reading a book autobiography, the one I told you about, Alexander
Hmm.
Hamilton. So he was reading the whole thing. He read the whole thing through. He had a lot of time, and he's like, "Wow, this is really good." And Lin Manuel Miranda really likes to do rap music. He likes freestyling. So he
Hmm.
started just writing poems and started like rapping freestyle. Just created a couple of songs like about like what happens if they had a rap battle, like between
Hmm.
politicians, and it kind of makes sense because a lot of politicians, they usually debate, and usually when people battle have when people have rap battles, it's kind of like um, it's kind of like debating. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good ones are.
Yeah. So he started writing some stuff, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be really cool." So then he thought about releasing a rap album about political history. So
Mm.
he got invited to one of the White House dinners. It was like a
Hmm.
correspondent dinner, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it was to invite a lot of people who had talent, and people just to like talk about like comedy, stuff like that. So
Hmm.
Lin Manuel shows up. Uh, the musician guy who does a lot of music for a lot of musical productions on Broadway went with him, started playing on the piano, and then he starts singing the very first song, the song where he talks about like Alexander Hamilton, the founding father, on the $10 bill. He
Hmm.
starts rapping that song, and then like during that time, it was just his idea of making a political album that's gonna be listened
Right.
to many people. But then it started evolving into like a actual production for Broadway, and
Hmm.
it was just a small idea that he wanted only just a music album, but then like because he started writing more songs, it just made so much more sense to make it into like an actual production. And then he starts
Yeah.
writing the characters in, and then it just blew up after that. Yeah.
Well, and I think that kind of fits into what I was saying, that these songs stand alone and aren't just to move the story forward, but they fit into the story,
Hmm.
because yeah, they came first,
Yeah.
and then they wrote the story around them.
Yeah.
So I think that's one reason this song stands so tall, or stands so
Hmm.
firmly
Yeah. And
on
Lin
their own.
Manuel Miranda, I think that guy is genius. He is
Yeah.
a
Uh,
great genius.
yeah, Martha's saying like, "Oh, I like him. Like, I'm surprised we don't see him in things more often." I'm like, "You've seen him. He's just usually a background character." And she goes, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah. He was in an episode of How I Met Your Mother. I think the last season, where the whole premise is the Marshall is trying to rhyme for his little baby son, because that is what soothes him, and the whole episode is written with just rhymes."
Hmm.
And Lin Manuel Miranda's character is like sitting on the bus, on the other side of the bus from him, and he's helping Marshall with the rhymes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
cool. And then you guys saw Mary Poppins Returns.
not the new one. No,
Oh, she's gonna love that, dude.
really,
Like if you're seeing her tonight, that's what you guys should watch tonight for like a movie night.
popping
Yep.
with Emily Blunt.
Yeah. Because Lin Manuel Miranda is the chimney sweeper.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and he is so good in this one. He is like, you already seen this. You like this. You're gonna love this
Yeah.
one. It's kind
Okay.
of it's gonna be kind of different for you because you kind of you've seen him as Hamilton having a regular American accent. Now imagine him in Europe, in London, having a English accent. Totally throws you off, and
I,
he's really good at it.
I thought you were gonna say having a European accent. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
highly recommend watching that tonight. So yeah, anyways, he was also in this HBO series called His Dark Materials, which is Golden Compass.
Yeah.
Yeah, highly recommend watching that too. It's really long, but it's good.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
All right. All right, that's on. Is that it for Hamilton?
Yeah.
All
I can
right.
go on and on, but
I bet you could. All right, let's go on to gaming really quick.
okay.
Sorry, trying to clear my throat.
What, you have a cat in your throat?
Huh? What?
No.
Anyways, so starting off here, Twitch, blocks or blocks Trump's Twitch account.
Yeah.
I think the headline here is I was surprised that Trump even had a Twitch account.
That account was for streaming any of the rallies. And
Yeah,
surprisingly, a lot of people watched that Twitch stream. I actually tuned into it one time just to see how many people watched it. And I think it was like over 40,000 people were watching it at the same time. And yeah, really surprising to see that many people that were on Twitch watching that. So
Middle America.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just surprised. I'm like, does Twitch even have a political channel or section?
No, Twitch just let people stream whatever they want on there.
Yeah, I know they recently opened it up to more areas of entertainment. Because for a while they did, they kind of backflipped. So they started off kind of anybody can stream anything. So some podcasters try to get into it, and then Twitch said we really want to just focus on gaming. That is where our core demographic is. That's what people want to see. So they kicked off some podcasters off from Twitch, and I think this probably year, I want to say the past year, they started allowing podcasters and other people back onto Twitch that aren't just gaming.
Yeah.
All right. This one's just for you, Anton. The Last of Us Part 2 came out a couple weeks ago, and apparently it has been not blowing up, but definitely
records.
making people's PS4s overheat or really work. Some of the, let me see here. Make sure I have. Sorry, I have some. There you go. The Last of Us is making Last of Us Part 2 is making the PS4 scream. Some people on Twitch were saying the PS4 gets ridiculously loud under load. Needed to turn up the gaming volume. Is that bad? Like a goddamn leaf blower. Really hope the next gen hardware is better than this.
Yeah.
Scariest part. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. Scariest part of The Last of Us Part 2 so far has been just now while in an underground section of my PS4 was over. Wait, what? In an underground section, my PS4 was overheating so much that it tripped the fuse in my house and shut off the console.
I think some of that is over exaggerating what's going on.
A little bit,
yeah.
The sound design in The Last of Us Part 2 is brilliant. Many of the noises you hear while playing will make you teen and scared, especially the one coming from your PS4 fan. And this last one, everyone, my PS4 sounds like a jet. It's clear for takeoff. Sony, funny jokes. The next one won't be as big as a jet. Oh, the next one will be as big as a jet.
Yeah.
I'm assuming The Last of Us was actually was designed for the PS5.
No, they
No.
Here's what happened. So they they took a very long time to finish this game, and when they announced PS4 Pro, they're like, oh, you know what? We'll take advantage of this. So then they went the extra mile to make it look like really good. And I guess some of the textures and everything that was loading in the game just got so intense on older versions of PS4s. And I know that, PS4, they have like 3 different versions. They have the first one that came out, the second one that was a little slimmer, and then the third one, which is the Pro version. So I know for sure that the first version of the PS4, the fan is super loud. Second one is probably also as loud, but I know that the PS4 Pro isn't as loud. So yeah, a lot of people are talking about how crazy their fan is going off, but I don't think it's to a certain extent where it trips the
the fuse. I think that's more of an electrical problem than the PS4.
Plus, I think that's highly exaggerated. But anyways, Last of Us Part 2 hit records. It sold so many copies. It is insane. I think they said somewhere that all the top games that were selling that month combined couldn't beat how many copies were sold that month. Yeah. So props to that. They did a really good job on this one. I'm halfway through this series. I've been watching someone play it because I don't have time to play it. It's a long game. It's like over 40 hours or something like that if you really play it through. I love the story, dude. The story's so freaking good. I don't want to spoil too much, but I can't wait until this actual movie comes out.
Oh, is it series or movie?
I don't care if movie or show. I don't really care.
Live action something.
Yeah, I want a live action something because this is so good.
It's for PS4, right?
Yeah, PS4.
Not PS4. I'm sorry, not PS4. It's for Xbox. HBO. There you go.
Yeah,
HBO, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm curious because I remember the first one. People loved it, and the second one's coming out and it's getting big, great reviews. So yeah, I'd be curious for a show or a movie. All right, Anton. Moving on to Warzone, our little Warzone update here. Call of Duty Warzone has released a 200-player match. I tried it. God damn, is it crowded?
And still, a lot of people are complaining that it's still not enough people on the game.
It depends. So, the normal gameplay or like max number of players for the online matches is 150. So the map stayed the same when they increased it to 200. And I would say the first one, it's possible for you to land in an area and have a section for you and your three other teammates to kind of prepare. For this one, it's very hard for you to land somewhere where somebody isn't. So almost immediately you're fighting somebody. And you cannot go more than a couple minutes without encountering other people because the circle starts closing in, and if there's still a lot of people alive, those 200 players in a smaller circle, there's a lot of shootouts happening.
Yeah,
I have sniped a couple of people as like one team was fighting two other teams, and I was like in the distance going.
Yeah, it's crazy to see this amount of people in one map, and I think it makes sense because it's a big map. The only times that we ever played anything more than 100 players was tribes. The maximum people that could play tribes in a game is 128 people. Yeah.
So, and that was what 2003?
2001.
2000?
Yeah.
Oh, we were in junior high. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's a long time ago. But during that time, 128 players in a game, there's no other game out there that does that.
Shazbot. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, well, not just Xbox, because the Warzone is cross-platform. But anyways, we talked about PlayStation. We'll talk about Xbox for a little bit. There is been a rumor for a couple weeks now that they're
Scarlet
not Scarlet, Lockhart.
Johansson.
No. The codename Lockhart has been floating around certain releases of Xbox software and hardware updates. Because of NDAs, companies can't talk about what it is. But there was a rumor going around that Lockhart is actually a codename for Xbox Series S, which is supposed to be, allegedly, a lowered powered Xbox Series X. So I think this goes in your favor that PlayStation might win this console war. If Xbox Series X is going to be the top tier, that means it has to compete with the more expensive disc drive PlayStation. And then nobody's going to, if the both PlayStations are the same side by side, except for the disc drive, who's going to really pay for the Series S? Like the lower powered version of the 4 models.
Yeah, they might even have to scrap the S.
I don't know. I don't know what they're planning to do with it. Hopefully this is just the, I don't know, cloud version. I don't know what it was, but yeah, if it's a lower powered Xbox, I don't think. I mean, it's gonna sell because for the kids, parents are just gonna buy their kids the cheaper one, but the reviews that's gonna come out of it's gonna be terrible. Yeah, but so the Xbox Microsoft is going to have their convention or their announcements, I think this month or August.
I think
so
it's this month.
We'll know more.
Probably like mid month or something like that. Yeah.
I know he's doing July, but I mean the countdown's begun. So we'll see what comes out of that. Also, I forgot to mention this one, Anton, but I know we're running long, but I just want to throw this out there. Fallout TV series coming from Westworld creators.
Yeah, kind of interesting. I would like to see what it looks like. I wouldn't mind. I mean, Fallout is such an amazing storytelling game. So having that as a TV series, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know where this takes place. Fallout has taken places in many cities. I think it was in LA, Vegas, and DC. I don't know if the series is going to take place in one of those or if they're going to try a new area, maybe, I don't know, Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no release date. All we really know is going to be an Amazon Prime exclusive, and Amazon has ordered the series, so it is going to be happen. They are funding the first season completely. They're not doing test shots or anything like that.
I'm excited to see Vault Boy.
Oh, that'd be cool. More stuff is going to come out of that. All right, Anton. If people want our Bolt Boy.
All right, if you want to support us, you can go to our website at www.the2oc.com and maybe buy some stickers, t-shirts, maybe a hat. And if there was something that we talked about on the show or something that you see on the feed, like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, it gives us a little kickback when you purchase something on Amazon. So that's awesome. Okay.
Sorry, my neighbors are starting the fireworks early, apparently. It's not even noon, so you can't really see the sparklers. So people can follow us on social media at the 2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out for the latest posts, memes, even our Twitter posts. We'll occasionally post up some nice little deals we find on Amazon that if you click on it, you get a sweet deal. We get a cut of that with no additional price to you. So a good way to support us if you're going to buy something anyways. Yeah. You can send us an email at mail@the2oc.com to give us any feedback. What is your movie that you're looking forward to that got pushed out, or which movies are you just over? Which one do you punch out of?
Okay, today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audio download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/the2oc. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And so far, I think I've integrated into my Echo Show. I don't know if you know what type of device that is. It's a little tiny screen, not that tiny. I have a 10-inch one, and actually, no, sorry. We're talking about sizes here. I have a 8-inch one and also 5-inch one. So you can think about it either way. But I recommend.
I know what audios we're gonna be using for the intro.
I'm editing this weekend. So if there was a book that I recommend this week, it would be Hamilton. It's a really thick book. It's like 900 pages long, so it's good to listen to this on Audible.
Okay. All right. All right, Anton. Is that it? We're done?
Yeah.
All right. For the 2OC,